Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this video, we are going to analyze infected patients' demographics. As usual, I'm going to display the first 5 rows of the dataset. So I'm going to type in data.head like this, and I'm going to hit compile. Okay, as you guys can see, these are the first 5 rows of our dataset. So in this video, we are going to analyze the infected patients' demographics using 3 columns. The first column is sex. So you have like female and male. The second column that we're going to use is count. So this is like how many cases of that particular disease recorded in our data sets. And the third column that we're going to use is rate. So this is like the disease rate. Okay, so let's get started, guys. I'm going to add another block of code. So the first thing that we're going to do here is to filter the data to exclude total from the sex column. As you guys can see, in this column, we have 3 unique values, total, female, and male. So we want to exclude total because we only want to display the data for male and female, right? Okay, so I'm going to type in data. So this is like a new variable equals data. And inside this bracket, we're going to have data again. And inside, I'm going to copy and paste the column's name, which is sex. All right. I'm going to put it inside this bracket. Dot is int. And inside this bracket, we are going to have male and female because we only want to include the data for male and female only. In other words, we are going to exclude total, all right? Okay, here we go. So the next thing that we're going to do is to compile it, right? Okay, cool, it works. Then we are going to group the data by sex and calculate the sum of count and rate. Okay, so I'm going to add another block of code and I'm going to create a new variable here. So it's going to be a group data. This is the new variable and we're going to assign value to this variable. So this time we're going to utilize a group by. For those of you who don't know what group by is, so in Python, we use group by to group the data, right? Okay, so inside this parenthesis, we're going to have bracket. So for the first bracket, we're going to have this column sex. So I'm going to copy and paste that column's name here. Then the next thing that we are going to do is to add count and rate. So I'm going to have a bracket, and inside this bracket, we are also going to have a bracket here. Okay, so inside this bracket, we are going to have count. So I'm just going to copy and paste that column's name and also rate, comma rate. So I'm going to copy and paste this column's name because in this case, we want to calculate the sum of count and rate. Okay, so I'm going to type in sum, open and close parentheses like this, and I'm going to compile it. Okay, it works. So now let's add another block of code. And now we're going to do the calculations, all right? So we are going to calculate the top 5 diseases per sex. So we're going to display the top 5 diseases for male and also for female, all right? So I'm going to initialize the variable first. So it's going to be top disease. Okay, so we're just initializing the variable here. And down here, we are going to create a for loop, all right? So we're going to have for sex in group data. So I'm going to copy and paste this, all right? So sex is kind of like the index in this case. Dot index. Okay, so inside this for loop, we are going to create a variable called subset. And we're going to assign value to this variable. So it's going to be data. And inside this parenthesis, we're going to have sex, which is these columns, because we want to access values from this column, right? Because we want to display the top 5 diseases for male and female, okay? And we're going to have equals to sex, which is the index of this for loop, as you guys can see here. And down here, we are going to drop duplicates from this column. This is, so we're going to have subset again, subset, And we're going to do the same exact thing that we did in the previous video when we cleaned this data set. So we're going to utilize these functions, drop duplicate, and inside this parenthesis we're going to have subset, and inside this bracket we are going to copy and paste this columns name because we just want to remove duplicates from these columns, right? This is okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is to copy and paste this variable. As you guys can see, we already created and initialized this variable, top thesis, and inside this bracket we are going to have sex, which is this index. So basically we are like iterating through this data. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste this inside this bracket. Okay, so now we're going to have a subset, and inside this bracket we are going to have thesis and rate. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste this because we want to display the name of the thesis and also the rate of the thesis, right? So I'm going to copy and paste this column's name. And don't forget guys, in this case we are going to display the top 5 theses for male and female, right? So we're going to use and largest. We're going to use these functions and largest, and it will take 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be 5 because we want to display the top 5 theses, and the second one is going to be rate because the top 5 theses is based on this column rate. Okay, I'm going to hit compile, and let's add another block of code. Now we're going to print it, right? So I'm going to create another for loop here. So for sex, top thesis, df, this is like the second index, this is like the top thesis data frame, right? And top thesis, so I'm just going to copy and paste this because what we're doing here is to iterate each element from this list, right? Dot items like this, and we're going to print it. So we're going to print f top 5 thesis for, and inside here we're going to copy and paste the first index, which is sex. All right, so it's going to be like either male or female. And in the second line we're also going to print the name of the thesis and also the rate of the thesis, right? So I'm just going to copy and paste the second index, which is top thesis data frame. Okay, so you'll automatically print the name of the thesis and also the rate of the thesis for a male and female. Okay, so I'm going to hit compile. As you guys can see, this is the output that we got, guys. So for the top 5 theses for female, as you guys can see, we have Chalomdia. I'm not really sure if I pronounced that name correctly, and rate is 437.9. The second one we have Campylobacteriosis. I'm not really sure if I pronounced that name correctly. It's really hard to pronounce, guys. And the rate is 23.5. We have Salmonellosis. The rate is 11.4. We have Gonorrhea. The rate is 7.3. We have Gardasis. The rate is 6.7. Okay, so now let's talk about the top 5 diseases for male. As you guys can see, we have Chlamydia. The rate is 144.8. We have Campylobacteriosis with a rate of 23.9. Well, if you round that up, it's going to be 24. You have Gonorrhea, the rate is 13.2. You have Gardasis, the rate is 10. And Salmonellosis, the rate is 8.5. Okay, so now we are going to visualize this data using bar chart. So the first thing that you're going to do here is to import matplotlib because we will need to use matplotlib. So just type in import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. All right, and now let's hit recompile. Okay, it works. Okay, so now let's add another block of code, and we are going to create a horizontal bar chart for the top 5 diseases. Okay, so we're going to create a for loop here. So for sex, top this is df. So actually I'm just going to like copy and paste these index, all right, for sex, comma top, this is df. So this is like the first index and this is the second index of the for loop. And top, this is item. Well, actually you can simply just copy and paste this, guys. All right, so just copy and paste that. And down here we're going to have plt dot figure. So we have fixed size 10,6. And we are going to create the horizontal bar. So it's going to be plt dot bar 8. And I'm just going to copy and paste these index. Top, this is df. Top, this is data frame. I'm going to put it inside this parenthesis. And I'm going to copy and paste these columns names. This is because that's what we're going to show on our horizontal bar. All right. We're also going to have comma rate. So I'm going to like copy and paste this. And I'm just going to replace this is with rate, because in this case we're going to display the this is and also the rate of that this is. All right. Okay, cool. So down here, I'm going to label the x-axis or the horizontal axis. So plt.x label. So in this case, the horizontal axis represents the rate. Okay, so don't forget to add the title so people understand what this horizontal bar represents, right? So we have plt.title like this. Top 5, this is for. Okay, so inside this we're going to have sex, right, which is the first index. So it's just going to display like either male or female, right? And I'm also going to add plt gca invert y-axis just to make it beautiful, guys. So you might be wondering, what does this line of code do? So we are going to reverse the order to show the highest rate at the top, right? And finally, the last thing, plt.show. Okay, so now let's hit compile. Okay, as you guys can see, the cell is already running. So this is the horizontal bar chart that we got. So the first one, this represents the top 5 diseases for female. As you guys can see, we have chlamydia, campylobacteriaceous. I'm not really sure if I've pronounced that name correctly, guys. I really apologize. It's kind of hard to pronounce, to be honest with you. We have salmonellosis, gonorrhea, and guardiasis. All right, and as you guys can see, the x-axis, the horizontal axis, in this case represents the rate of the disease. And this is like the second horizontal bar chart. So this represents the top 5 diseases for male. We have chlamydia, campylobacteriosis, gonorrhea, guardiasis, and salmonellosis. And the same thing, the x-axis, the horizontal axis, represents the rate for that disease. All right, guys, I think that's it. That's all you need to know. That's how you analyze infected patients' demographics. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.